Black Dragon, Red Dragon, Black Dragons, Safi'jiiva, Fatalis, Safi'jiiva, Fatalis!
Josh! Okay, look, I just wanted to be part of the cool dragon of, okay? But that does raise an interesting question. So, hello my fellow hunters. Listen up, come here, come closer, not that close. We have Elatrion, Diamoralis, and of course, Fatalis. And they are, well, black dragons. The blazing black dragon, the smelting black dragon, and just the black dragon. And together they make, well, the first-class dangerous monster group, which is the extreme upper echelons of power in the Monster Hunter world. But until Safi'jiiva came along, no other monster got any kind of title as simple yet powerfully commanding as just Black Dragon. At least until Safi'jiiva. And Safi'jiiva, of course, is just Red Dragon. The Red Dragon. Well, Red Dragon and... And that, to me, might just be a complete coincidence. It might be. But what if it's not? So bear with me here. I did a little video a while ago on the monsters that I think could most rival Fatalis, and Safi'jiiva to me is definitely one. Like, it is tippy top of the list. Between Sapphire of the Emperor, his incredible bioenergy conversion regenerative abilities, the sheer overwhelming power that he displays and possesses, his size and strength, and he generally is just the complete dragon package. And that's a really good, strong point, right? Dragon package. I mean, look at him. He is a quite literal dragon. You know, your classic red dragon that you get across D&D and fantasy worlds, and, you know, it's one of the most basic, well-known, and famous legendary creatures going. Just the dragon, the red dragon, along with, you know, no coincidence, the black dragon. And one of the reasons Fatalis is so powerful, or at least one of the design choices they went for him, is to make him more look like just a straight-up dragon. Nothing too crazy going on, just proper mythological dragon. And Safi is the only monster since then to get pretty much the same treatment, but now it's red. And I kind of like the idea of having Monster Hunter, where the tippy-top most powerful creatures are not just specifically black dragons, but dragons full stop, monsters with the title of something dragon. And to bring D&D back into this, well, just classic fantasy in general, that's a time-honored concept, is it not? You have the red dragons, the blue dragons, the silver dragons, the gold dragons, the black dragons, the green dragons, every type of dragon, white dragon too. Oh, talking of white dragon, Oltura? I know Oltura's title isn't specifically the White Dragon, but to me, he is a monster of equivalent power level. I mean, he's world-threatening, commands all the elements, can vaporize matter, has that ridiculous tentacle-based form. I think it's hard to argue he's none of the top 10 monsters ever devised in Monster Hunter, and he is shimmeringly, incandescently glowing white. The Exalted One, as he is known, or indeed the Wings of Ruin. So I kind of like him being the representative of White Dragon, and then we kind of end up in this trio of the Black Dragons versus the Red Dragons versus the White Dragons. But this could go even further, right? Because, again, to go back into the D&D that I just brought up, having a Monster Hunter-esque representation of the classic dragon flights, the classic different colors with their classic powers and intelligence and unique strengths and how fearsome and overwhelming they tend to be. It's a real proper, oh shit, moment when a dragon drops in, and that's the intention. They hold this iconic legendary status of creature across multiple cultures, mythologies, and folklore. The dragon is the epitome, is it not? It's so ingrained in us, and it's honestly really quite cool. So, yeah, the idea that the upper echelons of Monster Hunter could be in the realm of the black dragons headed by Fatalis, the red dragons headed by Safi'jiiva, and they are equivalently powerful, just with different skill sets, and you can kind of discover it as you go along. So maybe in the future we will get, I don't know, the green dragons, who have something different that they kind of specialize in, but still have that kind of more traditional dragony look, and that is really potentially exciting to me. But where I really want to tie this together is the myth in Monster Hunter World, the Tale of the Five, the creation myth for how, well, the Monster Hunter World came to be. This is quite interesting to me because it does essentially describe 5 specific dragons. 5 dragons that together, well, made everything. The dragons swam to the center of the ocean, and there they began to transform into an island. One dragon sank into the sea and became the land. One dragon lifted its gaze to the sky and became the mountains. One dragon stooped low and became the lakes and scattered its scales to create the rain. One dragon fell into a deep slumber and became the forest. The last dragon climbed far into the sky to become a star of sapphire blue, shining brightly above the island. So what if each of these indicates essentially a color of dragonflight that, well, is represented in the most powerful monsters? Now, Safi'jiiva being the Sapphire Star is a popular take, but he is known as the Dark Light Dragon, and then he grows up into the Red Dragon. So, him being the Sapphire Star is certainly probably a nod, but we the Hunter get called the Sapphire Star too. It's a moniker of honor. It's this idea that that was the most powerful of the creatures. So, the idea that there is still a Sapphire Star representative dragon out there is something that I think is really interesting. Now, the 5 main colors of dragons, the 5 true primary dragons, are Red Dragon, Blue Dragon, Green Dragon, Black Dragon, and White Dragon. So Red Dragon, we've got, that is Safi'jiiva. Black Dragon, we've got, they are the Black Dragons in Fatalis, which leaves White Dragon, Green Dragon, and Blue Dragon. And obviously, they're not going to literally just one-for-one the D&D main 5 Dragonflight colors. Of course not. Dragons are represented variously differently across all media, games, and worlds. But it is a nice baseline to do, as that essentially defined what we know to be a dragon as we expect to see one in a game. You have the dragon that fell into a deep slumber and became the forest. I mean, to me, that is a cinch for the green dragon. You have the dragon that became the rain, scattered its scales, became the lakes. That seems like a cinch there to be the blue dragon. Now, at this point, admittedly, it does break down a tad, because the dragon that sank into the sea and became the land, could that be the red dragon? I could kind of believe that with how Safi'jiiva and Safi'jiiva operate. They find a deep cave of natural energy, grow up within it, nestle deep in the land itself, and I think red can be a landy color. So, yeah, let's say the Jiivas are the land dragon, which leads the Sapphire Star shining brightly, and the mountains. So, do we make the black dragons the mountains? That makes a little bit more sense than the sapphire blue. But, yeah, I admit this is completely where the comparison breaks down, but essentially what I'm going for here is, we have Black Dragon, we have Red Dragon. What does that remind us of? Classic dragon flights in classic Dungeons & Dragons fantasy folklore. They are powerful, they are, as you imagine, well, dragon-like. Imagine different colors of dragons being the different yet equally powerful tippy-top groups of Monster Hunter. Oh, we have a story implying there are 5 specific dragon types that exist, or at least did exist, that created the world and perhaps have descendants. So wouldn't it be cool, and potentially entirely possible, if in the future we don't get a new black dragon, we don't get a new red dragon, but we get a end boss monster whose type title is simply green dragon, or blue dragon, or white dragon, or silvery chromatic rainbow dance dragon. Maybe not that. Last one. And it adds credence to that category of just pure color dragon top threats in Monster Hunter. Now, of course, if you disagree that Safi'jiiva should be considered on the level of Elatrion and Diameralis and Fatalis, then, of course, this might not appeal to you, but I definitely think there is merit to that. I think it's hard to look at the things that Safi'jiiva can do and not think that he has every chance of beating, at very least, Elatrion and Diameralis and their black dragons. Now, there's a lot of kind of disagreement on this, different interpretations, but Elatrion's introductory cutscene, he is literally destroying and burning the Xeno'jiiva eggs. Now, there's two lines of thought on this. One, he just wants to claim this cave, and there happens to be eggs in it, so he's getting rid of them. Sure, he doesn't like life being alive around him, he likes being alone, it's that black dragon mentality. I mean, yeah, that's an explanation, isn't it? But it's a bit dull, it's a bit boring. Why did he come here in the first place? Why this cave? Why the new world? Why now? To me, the much more sensible, or at least, exciting explanation is that the overwhelming bioenergy concentrated in Xeno'jiiva eggs acted as a beacon that, well, there's something like Elatrion can pick up on, which lured him to this place and encouraged him to destroy the eggs, whether out of spite or vengeance, or because he, well, doesn't like his chances. If all of these Xenos grow up into Safis, you could still make an argument for either, but I think it's entirely possible and plausible to interpret Elatrion's reason for being here and wanton destruction of what was the Safi'jiiva nest as a sort of self-preservation, a wiping out the young of a species that when it grows up poses a threat to you, and I think that adds a lot of credence to Safi'jiiva having some kind of power level comparable to a black dragon. But that's, I guess, a video for another day. The main thing here is, well, wouldn't it be cool to get another color dragon monster to add to Fatalis and Safi'jiiva in the future for a Monster Hunter take on the classic different colored dragon flights and how powerful and iconic they are. After all, it's no accident that the Monster Hunter team deliberately designs a monster to look like more traditional Western dragons when they want to imply that monster is powerful. I think it makes sense that the classic dragon in a world like Monster Hunter full of wyverns and creatures and animals and, other dragons should represent a quite high pedestal, a high ranking of power within, well, the hierarchy of the natural world. In any case, let me know what you thought of this little idea, and, well, like if you did get a little kick out of this, subscribe for more, and please consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below. Until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.